It's pretty easy to steamroll the initial floors without really understanding what's going on, so here I'll be exploring the basics to hopefully well round out beginners to this type of content to boost confidence going into those deeper floors. First up, accessing Eureka Orthos. The unlock quest can be found in Mordona called Delve into the Mist. You'll be able to access this and the Deep Dungeon from level 81, and it's a great way to level your alt jobs from 81 to 90. You need to have completed the main 6.0 MSQ and have cleared floor 50 of Palace of the Dead, which was the first Deep Dungeon added back in Heaven's Ward. If you never touched that, then you can unlock it via the quest The House That Death Built found in New Gridania. Once unlocked, you can only access Eureka Orthos by speaking to the NPC Katun in Mordona, which you'll naturally find at the end of the unlock quest. Jobs. As mentioned, you can access with any job from 81 onwards. There are no drawbacks here, so I strongly recommend multitasking and utilising jobs which you still need to get to 90. The initial 30 floors, which are tied to the story, are very forgiving and can easily be completed if matched with any combination of jobs. And though any job composition is viable for later floors, heck, solo is possible, post floor 30, a tank healer DPS combo will make your life a lot easier. Regardless of whether you enter floor 1 as a level 90 or 81, your level within the dungeon will start on floor 1 at level 81, and you'll quickly level up to 90 within the first 15 or so floors. This will subsequently be the case every time you re-enter floor 1, even on a job which you've already got to 90 within the dungeon. Also, don't get too excited about how quickly you level. This leveling is exclusive to the dungeon and not reflective of your leveling outside. Every 10th floor you will receive experience points to aid your normal leveling. The experience is very good. I took Ninja from mid 81 to level 83 just for my first run of floors 1 to 30. Additionally, gear or item level do not matter. Everyone starts on a level playing field regardless of what they have equipped. Within the dungeon you'll automatically be equipped with an Orthos ether pool weapon and armour, which you'll be able to level from 1 to a max of 99 within the dungeon. The gear levels are again not job specific, and as such you can change jobs each time you enter and continue to increase the same Orthos gear levels. More on this later. Parties and entry. A deep dungeon is a series of randomly configured floors which you progress through one at a time, here up to floor 100. They can be tackled solo or up to a party of 4. Every 10th floor has a boss and is a point where your progress is saved, so you can leave and come back later. The content is primarily targeted to a party of 4, so be aware going solo gets extremely challenging the further you go on, but is considered an exceptional achievement within the community. Floors 1 to 30 can be tackled via queued matchmaking, rather like using the duty finder, or pre-formed fixed groups or solo. However, floors 31 plus do not have matchmaking, so can only be accessed solo or in pre-formed parties. The term fixed party is important, especially if you'll be trying to progress with party finder randoms, as the players you start to run and the jobs you use will have to remain the same throughout that run. E.g., if you start a run with players A, B and C, and after clearing floor 50 decide to take a break, you will only be able to pick up where you left off on this specific run at floor 50 with the exact same 3 players and jobs, all of which will need to have left their saved runs intact, having not deleted them. A quick note on this, in order to progress past floor 30, all players in the party need to have beaten floor 30 already and completed the additional quest Rage Extinguished, picked up next to the entry NPC. Additionally, all players need to be physically located in Mordona in order for the party lead to successfully queue the party in. Note, you don't need to be on the same server, just all in Mordona. Regarding saves, upon starting any run, you'll select one of 2 save slots to progress that particular run. Thus, you can have 2 attempts running concurrently at the same time. You can delete these at any time via Katun by resetting the progress of one of your slots. This does not impact any gear level gains that you acquired during that run. It can work well to have one slot dedicated to an attempt to get as far as possible, with the second being used to spam the earlier levels for leveling your alt jobs if that's one of your aims. Once you've beaten floor 20, you'll have 2 entry points, either floor 1 or floor 21. Despite you being able to take respite every 10 levels, if the whole party wipes, that run is then invalidated and you'll have to start again from 1 or 21. For example, if you wipe on floor 77, then you'll have to start again at 21. General progress within. Upon entry, you'll see a dedicated map which will reveal itself as you move between rooms, and will also display chests within the rooms and the symbols for the Pylon of Return and Pylon of Passage. Once activated, the Pylon of Return enables a surviving party member to res all the other players if required. The Pylon of Passage is what takes you to the next floor. Once activated, all players must stand in it. You'll see the same symbols on the map which change colour to indicate progress towards them being activated, and to activate you'll simply need to kill enemies within the floor. You normally do not need to kill all enemies to activate, and it can feel somewhat random as you progress. If you're trying to move through the floor swiftly like most do, then prioritising killing adds in the rooms you actually want to go in, i.e. like the ones with the Pylon of Passage and the silver chests, can often save you a lot of time. Re-enemies, it's important to understand that at least in the early floors, they do not aggro in packs. You can pull one at a time from a distance. Also, the majority aggro via line of sight, i.e. you can quite safely and easily run around the back of most without them attacking, even if you get quite close to them. These become very important factors as you delve beyond floor 30, as quite quickly you'll come across enemies with very deadly attacks. So please refrain from having the Leroy Jenkins mindset. Running blind into a room for a wall-to-wall pull is not the aim of the game here. Furthermore, while learning first time around, I'd strongly recommend pulling one at a time after floor 30 so you can concentrate on watching what each ad does, paying particular attention to cast bars and AoE markers. E.g. this guy casts a crippling AoE at the end of its particle collision cast. Learning what each enemy does is fundamental to making progress in this content. Certain attacks might mean tackling specific enemies together in a nightmare, like a combination of Minotaurs and Chimeras, each with deadly large AoEs. So get used to stopping before entering a room to scout and pull single adds where necessary. Regarding chests, there are 3 types within the dungeon and they can be identified on the map, allowing you to gauge whether you're interested in a room or not. Noting that some only appear after killing enemies, and also where there are multiple chests in a room, only one type will be displayed on the map. Bronze chests. These contain items like hyper potions and razors, or Orthos ether pool fragments, which can be traded with the node outside the dungeon. These can be extremely useful when solo or in groups without healers, or especially the razors anytime someone dies before the return pylon is active. Silver chests. These are key as they contain possible gear level bumps, and also as a side these can drop the demi-clone generators, which when used will create a NPC clone who will follow you around and assist killing enemies on the floor that you're on. Gold chests. These drop a variety of items called protomanders, which are held and used from your character info UI, and offer a huge range of buffs and other effects like reducing enemy HP or revealing the whole map or traps. You can hold a max of 3 per type. The protomanders of intuition are particularly important as they reveal whether there is a piece of the Accursed Hoard on the floor or not. The Accursed Hoard. These are not on every floor, but grant sacks which can be appraised by the NPC Valorone outside the dungeon for a host of random rewards, including minions, mounts, and all manner of other items which are often very rare and very valuable. On the first 30 floors you'll get bronze sacks, 31 to 70 silver, and gold on floors 71 plus, with differing rewards in each. You can randomly stumble upon them, but far easier is using the protomanders of intuition as mentioned to identify them. This beam of light marks the spot. Standing on it for a few moments reveals the chest. Item usage. Bronze items are personal to you and will be in your normal inventory to be carried into any run you like. Silver and gold chest protomanders are party-wide and exclusive to the run you're on. Due to the nature of match-made runs, on the early floors these will be wiped every time you clear the 10th floor of the run, but in a fixed party you'll take them with you to the next set of floors. The biggest mistake I see with these is simply people not using them, especially in matchmaking parties. Ultimately don't be shy, it's generally a good idea for DPS to pop the strength ones to boost damage, and tanks the steel ones for defense, but otherwise just make sure they're being used as they're all positive and can really speed up a run. Gear upgrades. Upgrades to your Orthos ether pool gear directly impact your damage and defense, with level 99 offering significant advantages over level 1. Opening silver chests will increase levels, however an increase is not guaranteed. As a rule of thumb, if the floor you are on is a lower level to your Orthos gear level, then the chance of a level bump is progressively reduced. For example, at gear level 1 I got about 10 level increases on floors 1 to 10, but with gear level 40 I only got 1 level increase when repeating floors 1 to 10. As mentioned, the Orthos gear level is not tied to your job or specific run you're on, so switching it up does not mean starting again. Lastly on this, it's important to note that whatever gear levels you get across the current 10 floors you're in, e.g. floor 21 to 30 or 81 to 90, the level gain is only retained if you clear the last floor, aka the boss. If the party fully wipes at any point, your gear level will return to whatever it was before you started that set of floors. Lastly, rewards. Vast and many, with the vast majority of items coming from the RNG sacks from the Accursed Hoard pieces. I can't imagine a full list is out there yet, but going on previous Deep Dungeons, they all normally include a huge array of sought after items from elsewhere in the game, including rare minions, mounts, bardings and a host of other things. Additionally, the top sacks from floors 71 onwards will contain weapons exclusive to them. I believe they are colour variations on the weapons available from the synthesis node outside the dungeon. Speaking of which, item level 620 versions of the weapons which you use within the Deep Dungeon are available from the synthesis node outside. You exchange these for 3 Orthos Ether Pool grips. The grips can be acquired via the same vendor effectively by trading in 10 levels of both your Orthos weapon and armour per 1 grip. If you're farming these, I'd recommend getting your gear to level 10, trading and repeating, as this will be quicker than getting your gear to 30 and trading for 3 grips at once. All done. I'm hoping to have my thoughts vid out on the Deep Dungeon shortly, including what I see as its fatal flaw, so I implore you to sub so not to miss out on that hot take. All done. My gratitude would extend deeper than floor 100 for supporting the channel if you like and subscribe to complete the duty.